Hey, how y'all doing today? I'm glad you joined me on this episode. Today we will be talking about Egyptology and how it's controlled by Freemasons because it was actually created by Freemasons. And if you'll notice, the people in the so-called conscious community follow groups or are a part of groups that are Freemasons themselves, whether they freely admit it or not. First, let's take a look into what Egyptology is. Okay, Egyptology is the study of ancient Egyptian history, language, literature, religion, architecture, and art from the 5th millennium BC until the end of its native religious practices in the 4th century AD. Now, this part here is very, very important. Okay, a practitioner of the discipline is an Egyptologist. Okay, now you have to pay attention to that because everything that I say from here on in is going to be based on Egyptology and an Egyptologist and how this is a religion that is being brought on the people by Freemasons because they're attacking the Bible. Not to say that the Bible is true or not, but it's to give you a heads up that you're not being free from one thing, you're actually being indoctrinated into something else. And that's the problem. You're saying that you're conscious or you're a part of this conscious community, when in reality, you are being enslaved once again by the same people who started, let's say, the Bible as far as the way that you see it today in the practices of redesigning how to get you from that into something new. And I'll be getting into why they are doing this. Quick question. Do you know who this man is and why he's so important in Egyptology? Jean-Francois Champollion is his name. And if you're not aware, he was the one who so-called deciphered the Rosetta Stone. Like you see the commercial with Rosetta Stone where they tell you like to teach you new languages and all of that. This is the guy who supposedly figured out and translated the Rosetta Stones, which in turn gives you the so-called names and understanding of the Egyptian language based on the hieroglyphics. Pay attention to that because that is very important. You see, because you're running around and you saying, oh, your name is Ra and all of this, that, and a third, but the problem is it's a white guy who told you what these words are and how to pronounce them, this, that, and the third. So how are you gonna hold that to be true? I mean, you have all of these Egyptian people. It ain't like everybody left the land. So it took this European guy to come into a land that people have been in their whole lives. And now these Europeans are the ones who's telling you the language. That seems very, very strange. And to make it even worse, if you pay attention to the picture in which they use to represent him, he's doing something very, very particular. He's doing a Masonic sign. The sign is a Master Mason sign, which also is mentioned inside the Bible. The Lord furthermore said to him, put your hand in your bosom. So he put his hand in his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous like snow. That's Exodus 4:6. In Freemasonry, this has to do with the whitewashing of everything, removing its black content and giving it a poisonous, vile understanding of it, should I say. I can't say that the Egyptian old ways are lost forever. What I can say is the understanding that you are getting of it now is not correct. This is coming from a group of people who are parasitic. They attach themselves to everything. See how they'll use the Bible as a way of giving their understanding of things. So they will attach themselves, even, masonry period. They're called freemasons versus a mason who builds buildings and stuff like that. They associated themselves with that too. You see, they will put themselves in everything and will give you a messed up version of it. And as long as there's a group of people to co-sign what they're saying, then the outcome will be what you got, a foul understanding, because you're being co-signed by a group of people, and so the other people will come along and they will believe you because they want to believe and follow the group. You see, there's a thing in psychology where you can lead a people based on having a set amount of people, and they show this all the time. So it's hard for someone to not be pulled in. It's just like, you'll have the Jehovah Witnesses or the Christians or whatever coming to your door and they giving you their spiel. And as long as you have a group of people telling you that, like if your grandmother told you certain things out the Bible, you either would question it but go with it. But since you never really studied it in the way that the book is designed, with the 2 columns on 1 page, it's intimidating to read. So you'll go with what the masses is telling you is inside there without you reading it and getting a full understanding.